Welcome to DentiMax. In today's video, we're going to review the all-new DentiMax texting. To begin, I'm just going to pull up our texting application, which is the little green message here in the bottom tray of my screen. If you don't have it pinned to your tray, you can also look over here to the right, and I can see that my text messaging app is running. And I could click either on that text messaging app, or I could click on the little green message pinned to my start menu and pull up my text messaging. Our DentiMax texting is fully integrated into our software, which means the texting application is going to recognize what appointments have been added to the schedule, what messages have been received from your patients, and those two things will interact. So it'll be able to automatically send messages out to your patients based on the settings you plug in and the status of their appointment, if they're confirmed or unconfirmed. It also is able to send out birthday messages and recall notices as well, and you can text your patient directly back and forth. We're going to go ahead and start with the settings, which is under this little cog in the top left corner of our patient messenger. Tech support is going to go ahead and help you set up the data connection settings, as well as some of your initial settings found under the settings tab. If I click the change settings button here, you can see that I could set up the time frame in which I want text to be sent from our office. So I've chosen 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. You can change your date format. You can also change your time format. And then we have a default of 1 that precedes the phone numbers listed in the system automatically. Also, most importantly, I have send automatically selected so that my text messages get sent automatically without me having to pull up the computer and tell it to send every day. Now, to get into the fun stuff, I'm going to go ahead and click on appointment reminders and show you that I have appointment reminders selected to send out automatically. And we have the capability of sending out 2 different appointment reminders. First, I want to point out that there's 2 different possible messages that your patient can get, and that's based on the status of the appointment on the schedule. So first, here is the message for an unconfirmed appointment, and then a message for a confirmed appointment. Whether you've confirmed it directly by managing that appointment yourself on the schedule, or whether it's been automatically confirmed through the text messaging center. You are able to edit these messages if you'd like to make any changes to them. For example, instead of saying, "If you cannot make it, please call us," you could say, "Please call or text us," or you could also add your cancellation policy to the text message as well. Just as an FYI, one message is counted at 160 characters within that message. So if you go past 160 characters, it's going to count as a second outgoing text message. To the right, we have available merge fields. Merge fields are fields that you can double click on to have it inserted into the message wherever your cursor is. And in that space, it's going to merge that patient's appointment data onto the message. So if, for example, in this message, hello, and then it'll have the patient's first name, you have an appointment at your practice name on. If you want to put the day of the week and then a comma, then the date and the time, all you have to do is put your cursor where you'd like the day of the week to go and double click on that, and make sure you have appropriate spacing and punctuation inside your message so that it reads properly. And that's it. You're done customizing that message. If there's something that you just want to add as a blurb, all you have to do is click and type whatever you'd like to add. The same is true for the confirmed appointment message that you'll be sending out. Feel free to customize or edit those as you see fit. Now at the top of the screen, we have the frequency in which these reminders are sent out. So the first text reminder about the patient's appointment, I have set to go 4 days prior to the patient's appointment. You can click the little drop down and change a different frequency if you'd like to. Some people like to do a week before the appointment, and some people like to get it a little bit closer and maybe do it 2 days before the patient's appointment. So you have a number of different options to choose from here. And then the second reminder is going to automatically go out, again based on the status of that appointment in that moment, and you can have it sent up to a week before the appointment or even the same day of the appointment, or you can say do not send a second reminder if you just want to start by sending one reminder and see how that goes. These appointment reminder messages are going to go out for every appointment on your schedule, regardless of what type of appointment it's for, unless you exclude the patient's phone number in our texting setup, which we'll get to momentarily. The next tab over is the schedule recall reminder. This message is a reminder that goes out to your patients in a time frame that you choose that reminds your patient that they are due for their recall appointment, and you're asking them or prompting them to call and schedule that. Once again, you can customize the message that's sent out to your patients just by clicking and typing and using the available merge fields on the right. And of course, you want to make sure that that little checkbox is selected if you want to use this option to send recall texts out to your patients. You can disable it just by unchecking the box. I have my messages set to go out 30 days before the patient is due for their recall, so they have plenty of notice, and I get them scheduled by the time they're actually due for their recall date. So you can click and type and change this to maybe 14 days, so they get a notice 2 weeks before they're due, or you can set it to be 90 days in advance. You have the flexibility to choose what works for your office. You can also send additional reminders every so many days based on what you feel comfortable with. I have mine set to send out an additional reminder every 14 days or every 2 weeks from the date of the initial text that gets sent. And then I have my reminders set to continue to send every 2 weeks until 90 days after their recall eligibility. If at that point they haven't made an appointment with me yet, 3 months later from the date they were due, I'm going to just go ahead and send them a letter, which may draw a little more attention from your patient. The next tab over is our birthday text. Again, you have a checkbox if you want to enable or disable that option. Click and type and use your merge fields to customize the message, and this message will automatically send out on the patient's birth date. The next tab over is our excluded phone numbers. So if you have a patient come in that says, I think it's great that you're sending texts, but I personally don't want one, I've got you on my calendar, you can go ahead and just click add to the list, type in the patient's phone number, click the OK button, and then save your changes when you're done. Now later down the road, that patient may change their mind and decide they do like text messages and they would like to start receiving those. So you can just pull up that excluded phone number list, select the phone number, and click remove from list that you want to take off of your blacklist. And now that person is set to start receiving messages once again. Lastly, we do have a test tab, which allows you to send test messages back and forth from the computer to yourself perhaps, or to the doctor, just as a way to do some preliminary testing, which tech support may walk through with you. Once you're done setting up the parameters of your system, you're going to go ahead and save your changes. If you're ready to go live, make sure you're not in test mode. And now we're back to our Patient Messenger Center. If you take a look at the top of this screen, we have a few different options to filter out what you're looking at. So I have Show All Messages selected. You could choose to show only outbound messages, only inbound messages, or of course, show unread inbound messages. What's nice too about this Patient Messenger Center is that in the top right corner, you can actually see your text history of how many outgoing messages you've sent and how many incoming you've received for both this month and the previous month. If we take a quick peek at our scheduler for today, I want to point out that I have a scheduled and unconfirmed appointment for today at 4:15. I did actually receive a text message already about my appointment asking me to confirm. So if we take a look at outbound messages, you can see I have had a message sent already. Hello, Alicia, you have an appointment at Family Dentistry on Wednesday, December 28th at 4:15 p.m. Please reply yes to confirm. If you cannot make it, please call us at this phone number. Now, if I go ahead from my cell phone and reply yes and send that back to our patient messenger, and I've switched over to just my unread messages to show you pretty quickly that we have now received a yes from Alicia McKinney, and you can see my previous text history as well, so you know I've confirmed my appointment at this point. So now if we just take a look at inbound messages, you'll see that your patient has responded back with a yes. And then if we jump to the schedule, my appointment is now marked automatically as a confirmed appointment. And there is a message listed here that it was confirmed by text. Both the confirmation and the note confirmed by text automatically populate on the appointment for you. If my patient also sends me a direct message, maybe asking if they could come in a bit earlier today, I can go ahead and refresh my screen, and you can see that we've received that message here. Can I come earlier today? And you're able to actually click here in the message center off to the right and respond directly back to that patient. So if they had replied, no, I can't make it today, instead of yes, then you can immediately address that situation and get them rescheduled and maybe say something to the effect of, I'm sorry you can't make that. Is there any chance you could come a couple hours later? Or in this case, my patient wants to know if they can come in earlier, and I could reply back and say, yes, we have an opening at 11 a.m. Does that work for you? And send that directly back to your patient. So you have interactive, direct texting going on in real time. If ever you want to just refresh the screen, we do have a little refresh button here in the top corner, right below the settings menu. And so you can go ahead and click that. Again, also you have the option to read your outbound messages and then any inbound messages that you might have received. And I'm just responding back to myself saying, yes, I'll be there. And that response back to the office can take up to about 30 seconds or so to receive. So just be patient and continue on with what you're doing and then go back and take a look. If you're not seeing anything right away, your patient may not have responded right away. But when I did respond immediately, I was able to get that message back within about 20 to 30 seconds. So that is our brand new DentiMax texting. Again, it is automated. It will allow you to send confirmation messages, recall reminder messages, birthday messages, and direct text messages to your patients. If you have any questions about our new DentiMax texting, feel free to give us a call at 1-800-704-8494, and we'll be happy to help you. Thank you.